And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and I've got a special guest today. I've got Jesse from EA. Now, I got a bunch of questions that you guys sent to me, as well as a bunch from guilds. Not all of them obviously can be answered, and some of them are going to be answered in a couple of videos previous to this one. But we want to go ahead and try and go through and see which one of them that you've asked can be answered now. So, are plans underway to change the current guild versus guild and the way that guilds get points to create a more structured or more accurate like top 10, top 100 for the guilds?
Yeah, I mean that's something we're looking at. We're aware of the like the leaderboards right now. It doesn't serve a function other than just gaining points and kind of climbing the ranks, like you said. So we're looking at ways that we can engage guilds more. So there's a little more rivalry, competition. Going for that top spot.
All right, and I know a lot of people are looking about new characters, and I know I've got a couple of videos that we'll probably post before here. But is there anybody that is planned in the next 3 months? Can you don't give me names for this particular question or video, but how many characters do you think will be built out before Christmas?
Well, I can't give an exact number, but for those who've been playing since last year, if you remember when The Force Awakens came out, we did a lot of stuff around those characters. So you had Captain Phasma, Poe Dameron, and then we just kind of released all those characters. Something similar will probably be done for Rogue One, so you can expect a lot of the main characters that you've been seeing in the trailers and stuff will likely make an appearance in the game.
Very awesome. Now, I know that with the addition of protection just recently, it seemed to make healers just a little bit less relevant because you've got to tear through that protection and get halfway through the health before it really makes the healers relevant. Are there plans to kind of fix this or modify the heal dynamic in the game?
Possibly. We're always looking at balancing, but protection's meant to be something for right now in the life cycle of the game. We don't want it to come back, so there's no healers. If they could get protection back also, it kind of makes the health too high on characters. So, but we do know that it's like once you get past protection, characters can die pretty quick, so healers don't have a chance to even kind of bring those characters back up. So we're always looking at stuff like that to see if there's ways we can make healers a little bit better for teams.
Now, I know there was a lot of concern about the last PvP event, and things happen. I mean, this is a game where it's ever evolving. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, right? And so we've got to take a step back. But anytime you guys recognize there's something that maybe isn't functioning exactly the way it was intended, you guys obviously look at that. What have you looked at that's going to be that you can speak on anyway? That'll be readdressed in the new PvP tournament when this release.
Yeah, so we learned a lot from our first PvP tournament, which usually happens when you introduce a new game mode. So we're listening to player feedback. We've gone through and reworked some things. So by the time the next tournament comes out, we're going to have different things such as you can only set your defensive squad once. So at the very beginning of the tournament, you lock in your defensive squad. If you want to put a really weak team there, go for it, but everybody's going to use you for your punching bag. So the other thing we're looking at is, I don't know if this is 100% locked in, it's something we're experimenting with,
right.
Is you can't attack the same person multiple times within a time frame. You can only attack them every few hours, maybe once a day. We're messing around with the times a little bit, but so you can't do what was done in the last tournament,
one
where
of your
you
buddies.
and your buddy just keep doing that.
Right.
That won't be possible anymore.
All right. Have you guys discussed the possibility of creating like a practice arena where you can build a team, and if you're not sure if it's going to work well in arena, taking it into a practice squad? Now, I know kind of that's what people do now is they just go into arena and they try it out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it would be kind of fun to have that mechanic in the game. Is that something that's ever been brought up? Or
it's something we've definitely talked about. It would be a feature kind of mode that's like nice to have, but like you said, it's like people already kind of do the testing. It's not a like must have. Instead of ships, bring out this other thing.
Right.
Obviously, we want ships.
Mic drop.
But No, it is something we're aware of, and if we can add that in the future for players, that would be really cool. So yeah, like you can test out those weird compositions of like, is this going to work?
Yeah,
on paper
sure.
it does this. So let's see what it does in the game.
So, this is kind of an interesting question. They asked, what do you want from the players?
We want to hear your feedback. We want to know if there's something you love, if there's something you don't like that you'd like changed. We want to hear it. Don't just sit there and be like, I wish they'd change this. Let us know. We want to hear, and we're receptive to feedback, and we change what we can.
I suppose you probably get more flies with honey, so if we're going to make comments, obviously, don't make them derogatory. Constructive criticism goes a long way, you guys.
If there's something you don't like, explain why you don't like it, instead of just like, I hate this. Just, I do not like this because it's not a fun game mode for me, because my characters die too quick. Whatever it is.
Right.
Explain it out so we can be like, okay, that makes sense.
So, we're going to kind of buzz through these, but what's your guys' kind of stance on alts, as in like having multiple accounts? And why is it a good thing, or why is it not a good thing? Why would we, I hear about the whole like guild hopping thing, people that do that. Again, this is an unintended dynamic of the game that maybe wasn't intended, but some people benefit from that, and who faults them for using the game within the confines of what it's been created for. But what's your guys' stance kind of on that, or where it's going with that?
Yeah, if people want to have multiple accounts, that's fine. We're not going to be like, no, you must have just one account. As far as the guild hopping thing, we're actually, well, by the time this comes out, the information will be out there. We're basically making it so you can guild hop, and you're not going to have that lockout cooldown period anymore. It's like you can't earn loot for 48 hours. You'll be able to guild hop and earn rewards, but you're limited how many rewards you can get per week. So you can't just hop infinitely and keep getting rewards like you could before. And now it makes it so if you want to hop to your buddy's guild and help them beat it and still get rewards, you can do that now. But you're just going to be capped at how many rewards per week. So
it actually is kind of the best of both worlds. I mean, the individuals who want to guild hop and things like that and help out and have the legitimate reasons for doing so can do that. And the multiple accounts are fine. I mean, I've told you guys before, I have a pay-to-play account and a free-to-play account, right? Because I like to see the two different perspectives. And so you guys don't have a problem with that. That's very cool. Where is the in-game progression? And what I mean by that is we just had a level cap increase to 85. And a lot of people wonder, are we going to 90, 95, 100? So do you guys have a long-term vision as far as what you're going to do for the end of the game, as far as the cap on leveling and or the gear cap level, things like that?
Certain people on the team probably do know where the end is. I don't. I do know that we're going to be increasing the level cap again in the future.
Sure.
Probably not anytime soon. And then gear will eventually, there'll be more ways to progress your characters. Like you saw, we had just gear, and then later we added mods for a way to customize your characters more. So, yeah, there's a lot of different ways that we can go in the future of just more gear or different types of mods. We'll just have to see what the future brings.
And then you're talking about mods, actually. Is there an update, or do we know? Is this kind of something that's maybe next year, the 6 and 7 mods? I mean, we all got kind of excited about that as a possible reward. And we know now it's a character as a reward for the new raid. So what are you guys' thoughts on mods?
Yeah, at some point there probably will be higher star mods. But right now, nope, we're just sticking with 5 is going to be the highest one. And yeah, in the future there'll be some other way to earn 6 and 7. Once we feel that we're like, okay, the game's at a point now where it's ready for 6 and 7.
Right. Now this is kind of a cool question. I really like this question, and I don't know if it's even capable in the game, but they wanted to be able to program the AI for their teams to be able to say, like, I want number 1 to go first, or I always want them to start with a taunt, those kinds of things, and have each character defaulted in their own way, so the AI plays the way they wish the AI would play. Because we know sometimes the AI plays properly, and taunts go off properly, but then there's other characters where it doesn't quite work so well, and so it makes those characters less appealing. Is that even something that could even be a possibility?
No, that's actually really, really interesting. We're always looking at ways for defensive squads of making it so you have a little more control over it. It's been a recent topic of, so you don't just throw your guys in and, yeah, you know what they're going to do, and it's kind of like that, all right, well, I know this is going to happen because this is their team. So we're talking about it. There's nothing set right now of that, and definitely not for being able to customize what your characters do on defense. As cool as that would be,
Right.
Yeah, nothing right now.
On the side note of the ships, I know that that's down a little bit, but a lot of people want to know if there's going to be some new synergies added, such as maybe like a navigation droid synergy with the ships.
All I can say is stay tuned. In the next few weeks, we're going to start providing the community more on what to expect with ships, ways that you can prepare and be ready for them when they come out, so you're not just like, oh wait, I need this. So yeah, we'll share the details in the coming weeks.
And then there's another really awesome idea. This is very similar to the configuration of their arena teams and presets, but there was an idea of presets. So having your arena team and being able to save that arena team with a name, like a custom name, like this is my defensive squad or this is my counter team, and have like slots, and then you could maybe spend a few crystals to open a couple extra slots up. Is that something that would be a possibility down the road?
No, that's actually a really cool idea too. That's something
That's a Team Instinct idea right there, though, by the way.
No, it's not something I can definitely bring up, because that would be, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know if that would be possible, but yeah, I will actually pass that one along. That's pretty good.
That's a great one. I actually thought that was great because, especially for mods too. I mean, you could set up your mods exactly how you want it to make somebody just a lightning fast critical hitter. Save it as speed crit, and then you could actually pull a character and click on preset and hit it, and it will say, are you sure you want to pull from that character those mods or whatever, and it will just import those mods off of everybody. I don't know, I think that would just take another level to the game. So it was a really interesting idea for sure. But so simming, when that came out, that was awesome. I mean, that saves us a lot of time. So there's the simming and stuff, but I'm guessing, and I think you answered this yesterday with me, the reason why we have weights in between gearing, the gear challenges and things like that is just for the engagement, right? It's to keep us in the game and engaged. Why not just, though, do away with the actual sim tickets? Because I know that there's two kinds of people, right? There's the individuals who just have like 6 million sim tickets, and it's a moot point whether you have it or not. There's no benefit to that. And then there's those who are maybe free to play and new and just constantly they never have enough sim tickets. To be honest, my free to play, I'm buying sim tickets. I have to, because I just run out because of the farming for gear. So why not just do it with that mechanic and then just do simming with the energy you have, as in just a simulation or as a battle? Doing either one but without the actual ticket. What's the need or purpose behind the tickets?
It's a good question. I think it is that it's for the pacing mechanic for newer players, so they can't just use all of their energy right away, and it's something else to strive to build up your sim tickets stockpile, if you will.
Yes.
But yeah, if you do just your basic energy refreshes in your daily every day, you should get enough for pretty standard play to do your challenges and a few basic things of simming nodes.
So I know the mod challenges were designed exclusively to create and unlock those mods that we have, which are the 6 slots. Are there any future, maybe not for mod challenges, but synergy-based challenges that maybe for the ones who didn't get the love with the mod challenges, so people that have a particular synergistic team can use in the game?
Oh, for all those Night Sister teams out there?
Right. No love, no love.
No, I know some people that got Night Sister teams.
I know. I get hate when I tell them they're like a galaxy rating at 2 stars or 1 star. They're like, my Night Sisters are amazing. I'm like, all right, okay. Yeah.
No, we're always looking at that for adding more for each type of faction, for whether it be events. So you've seen like the assault battles that we do, to where it's very specific on who you're using. And then, we'll add more assault battles of that type, other events, and there's a good chance we'll have other challenges too down the road of requiring specific factions.
That's very cool. I know you answered this also for another individual, for another YouTuber, Mobile Gamer asked, but like Galactic War, it's hard. Now, I understand it's built to be difficult, and you got multiple squads, but there was an interesting idea or concept that, you take the damage and it continues to roll through, but that, you gain that turn meter advantage when you're playing through. But there is a downside to that, and that is that you don't have your cooldowns. And there's some strategy, obviously, involved in having your cooldown set to a proper position. So when you get to the next battle, has there ever been discussion that maybe a rework would be just resetting the cooldowns in between each interaction, so that way the strategy they use to take a team down can be reutilized in the next battle, even though they're damaged? That maybe they could reuse that. Is that something that's ever come up for discussion, or?
Probably not that particular point, but we are looking at more ways we can change Galactic War, make it more interesting. So yeah, and we are.
Anything you can share about the Galactic War?
Not right now, but we are listening to player feedback. I know it's a very hot topic.
Yes.
On
it's a mega thread, right?
It's a very large mega thread on the forums.
Yeah.
So no, we are listening. We just don't have anything at this time to share. We want to make sure we get it right. We don't want to, say we're going to do something and then it not be that thing when it comes out. So once we have details to share, we'll put it out there.
So this is also a big question: are Rhodium packs coming back? Are they going to be a thing still, or we have lost them?
Yeah, they just kind of disappeared. It's being discussed whether or not we would bring them back or not. We want to make sure if we bring it back, it's something that players will enjoy and be like, oh, this is awesome, instead of just like, it's okay. So
sometimes you have to remove a benefit for people to realize they had a benefit, and I feel like Rhodium was one of those things. I mean, they had it, and a lot of people complained, and then as soon as we took it away, I mean, you guys took it away, and all of a sudden there was like, give me my Rhodium packs, it's way cheaper. I think that's an interesting thing. So somebody brought up set rewards versus possible rewards, and in some aspects of the game, getting a possible reward is great, right? Because you can possibly get 10 million on the credit heist. I've done it once. I've got a video. You should check it out.
You hit the lottery, man.
I did hit the lottery because that's like a 2% chance or something like that.
It's low.
Yeah, it's pretty low, 1 or 2% chance. But anyway, and I did it just happenstance. I was playing, and you should catch my reaction. I'm like, whoa, excited. I was dancing. But some of the other things, such as the gear challenges, why can't those be just fixed? So that way we know when we do these gear challenges that we get a set amount of gear. Why does that have to be a variable or a possible reward system?
Just to keep it interesting.
Yeah. So you think you're going to get 5, but always get 2.
Yeah, it's the same thing of when you sim a Cantina node. There's a certain chance. Like I was farming Lando and trying to get those last few shards, and I'd sim 8 times, and I'd get like 2 shards. I'm like, oh, really? And then I'd sim the next time, and I'd get 6.
Right.
It's just all that
chance. You got to keep the element of chance in there. Okay, that works very good.
Excitement. So when you get that 5, you're like, yes.
So there was a question about ships, and I have another video that will probably launch, which I'll talk a little bit about ships, and there's some other live streams we talked about ships. Not a whole lot that can be shared on that, but it is coming, so just hang on. It's pretty revolutionary. It's pretty game-changing. From what I saw, it is going to rock everybody's world. It's going to take this game to the next level. It's kind of like another game within a game. It's pretty amazing. I'm excited about it. You guys all will be too. So we're going to just skip that for now. Are there? You don't have to tell me which characters, but are there any character resets in the works sometime between now and Christmas? Are we going to have some reworks on some of the characters, or is that something that you're looking at next year to try and fix?
There is a character right now we're looking at possibly reworking. Just got to make sure that ships are the top priority, and then this a certain other character that players really like should probably be getting some love with a little bit of a rework.
And then somebody asked about credit crunch. Is that credit crunch is still real? Are there other things, other ways to still get the credit? So that way that people that are struggling with the credits each and every day have, or is kind of where we're at. And honestly, I'm almost like beggars can't be choosers. I feel like the credit, you guys have constantly done a number of things. I feel pretty blessed actually by the changes in the game recently with the credits. Although I do, on my free-to-play account, I have like a whole whopping 48,000 credits. So, I mean, I do empathize with this question. Are there any other things and ways to get more credits?
Currently, I mean, well, in a way, yeah. So there will be the new raid, so that you can do both raids. So you can get credits from the pit and the tank down raid. So there'll be that. That's the newest way we're adding, but we're always looking at potentially more ways. There'll be more events and stuff. So
that's a good point, because now there's going to be multiple raids, and raids pay out well, credit-wise. I mean, honestly, you get a good chunk of credits, and now you'll be able to do twice as many. So I think that benefits everybody for sure. The last thing I've got, and this is actually mine, just curious. once upon a time in the game, you could see all the gear that you had. Is something like that going to come back where you could maybe sell off gear to the game, back to the game, for some of that unnecessary gear to maybe get some credits for that, or be able to see your inventory of gear that you have? Is there anything like that that's been talked about? Or
it has been talked about. The biggest problem we saw is that people were selling things they did not mean to sell, which is why it was kind of more harm than good with the sell function before.
Yeah, that's a good point.
People were selling their training droids and their purple gears, and they're like the wrong types. Like thought they're selling one type of piece, but turns out they're selling a different.
And what happens is it doesn't tell you you need it if you don't currently need it, but you may need it in the future.
Exactly.
And so all of a sudden they sell a Mark V because they're like, I don't need it, and all of a sudden they get high-level characters, and now they need that Mark V material.
Yep. So, but no, we are looking at ways to where it's, you know, whether or not we're going to bring back the ability to just see all of the gear that you have. Because, yeah, unless you go into a character, click on that gear piece, and you're like, you have 1,100 of this low grade item, and you're like, oh, that's great.
It would be cool to trade in like 1,100 of them for, you know, 6 credits. No, I'm just kidding. Well, anyway, that is
1/4 portion.
That is all I have. I had a lot of other questions. I kind of condensed them and stuff. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate CG for all of their effort. This whole weekend has been absolutely amazing. You guys have been a huge blessing to me, to all the other YouTubers that are here, all the exclusive content. We really appreciate everything you've done for us. So I really want to just thank you very much for all of that. As always, if you guys like the videos, just like it, share it with your buddies. There's a lot of questions that people wanted to know about, so share it with your guild. Tell your guild about this. As always, you can subscribe if you want to get more of my future content. Check out my other videos. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior, out.